Hey everyone, it's Kelly. Thanks so much for joining me today. I am back with a new layout and process video for the June 2019 blog hop for Altenew's Stamps, Dies, and Stencils new release. And this is actually the second project that I created using this new release. If you happen to be watching this on my YouTube channel, I do want to encourage you to head to my blog. Altenew has a couple different giveaways that are happening, and I have all the details and all the information on my blog post. So I will make sure to post a link in the description box below. So I'm going to start out by talking about the stamping, and I'll get to the other products that I have on my layout in just a moment. I am using the new Forever in Love stamp set, and I wanted to add just a little bit of detail behind those floral cluster die cuts that I have there. And I was trying to position them and get a really crisp, clean image, but I just wasn't getting it with my stamping block. So then I thought that I would use this Tim Holtz platform. And where I was wanting to position it on that 12 by 12 background, it wasn't quite fitting on the stamp positioner the way that I needed it to. A little bit of the stamp was kind of hanging over the edge, so I still wasn't able to get a really crisp image. This was 100% user error. It has nothing to do with the stamp. It was just I wasn't pressing down hard enough and I wasn't pressing down even enough, but I wanted to leave it in the video so that way you could see kind of how I went through the process of getting it the way that I wanted. So I'm going back to the acrylic block now, and I do have a piece of foam. It's almost like the foam packaging that you get that's like a protective packaging, and I have it underneath the layout just to give a little extra cushion when I'm stamping. And I'm using the acrylic block again, and I get the impression that I want and I get the detail that I want stamping with this acrylic block. So like I said, it was just a user error issue. If you have never used Altenew stamps, they are very, very high quality and they stamp great. I think part of my issue was when I was first stamping it is it was the very first time that I was stamping and I did not condition the stamp at all. If you're new to stamping, how I condition my stamps is I either take the stamp and I'll rub it almost on the back side of my arm or on the palm of my hand. Or I've seen some people use Versamark. They'll stamp some Versamark on the stamp itself, and that gives a little bit of a coating on the stamp and helps it grab the ink a little bit better. And then I also like to use something underneath my acrylic stamps just to give them a little extra support, a little extra cushion when I'm stamping. I do find that I do get a little bit more of a crisp image when I use that foam underneath my paper. And I've been using stamps for a really long time. I actually purchased stamps as one of my very first things that I ever bought when I started scrapbooking. And that was almost 15 years ago, I think. It was right around the time that I was getting married that I started collecting some scrapbooking supplies. So if you've tried stamping and you haven't had good luck getting the impression or getting the detail that you want out of your stamps, don't give up. As you saw, I have been stamping for many, many years, and it took me a few times until I got it just how I wanted it. So stick with it, keep working at it. It does get easier the more you do it, and you will find some tricks along the way that do make it easier to get that detail and that impression that you're wanting out of your stamp sets. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about the layout. I did use my Cricut to cut a large heart from one of the pattern papers from the Live Your Dream scrapbook collection. And then I added 2 floral clusters on the top left and the bottom right of the hearts. And those are from, I believe, the R Family scrapbook collection. And these are all scrapbook collections from Altenew. I am adding that green frame on the top and the bottom of my photos. I just cut it in half so that way I could have a little bit of that color peeking out on the top and the bottom. And that frame, I believe, is from that same R Family sticker cardstock die cuts that you get in that collection. And I really liked the stamping detail on this layout and how that turned out. I feel like it adds a nice graphic touch to the layout. There's so many bright colors, and I just feel like those black flowers just kind of ground the layout and just give a nice little detail and just that nice pop of black. I'm just really happy with how that turns out. That stamp set, it would be great to use for multiple things. The images on them are open, so you could color them, you could watercolor them. Really, the possibilities are endless with that stamp set. So I am excited to be able to use that again on a future project, maybe in a little bit different way. I did add a few hearts on that bottom right hand side too, and I thought that fit the theme of the layout really well with that large heart on the background. And those hearts, one of them is a die cut, and then the other one, or the other two, are actually chipboard pieces from the Live Your Dream scrapbook collection. I was trying to decide what I wanted to do for journaling on this layout. These photos are actually two different photos. They're not the same photo. My facial expression is a little bit different in the photos, but they were taken at a cupcake ATM when I was in Los Angeles. I went to Los Angeles last month for a work conference and we had a free day. So we went around the city and there was a cupcake ATM. And I thought, how fun is this? So my friends that I was with, they snapped this picture or these pictures. And I was trying to decide how much journaling I wanted to do because I'm planning on creating a mini album of my trip. So I used that same piece of paper that I cut the heart from to type the journaling. I thought that it would just blend in on that heart a little bit. I didn't really want to use white cardstock because I thought it would be too much in your face and stand out too much. But I didn't really care for how it looked. So I ended up pulling that off and just used a date stamp to add the date. And I'll just put my journaling in the mini album that I create for this trip. So I'm not really worried about having journaling on this layout. I also decided just to use that Colorful Memories die cut as my title. I wasn't really worried about having a large title, and I did add a bow on that top left-hand cluster just for another little pop of color up there. I did add some splatters to the layout, and then this is pretty much it. It came together really, really fast. I think that I only sped this up about 2.5 times how long it took me to create it. And I'm really, really happy with it. The colors are great. Altenew's products are so beautiful. You just really can't go wrong. So I do want to encourage you again to head to my blog so you can check out the blog hop and then also participate in the giveaways that Altenew has going on. This layout was so much fun to put together, and I will be back again soon with a new layout and process video. As always, I just want to thank you all so much for watching.